just joining us, you're welcome to our show, My Career and I, brought to you by What Do Women Thrive and Development Organization. You can actually follow us on our Facebook and our Instagram, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Do TV. Today is going to be very exciting because we have a special guest in our midst. Yes, we have a male figure who is going to be telling us so many things about our career, our businesses, and how to thrive in our career. He's actually a business tycoon. He's into e-commerce, and also he knows the in and out of his business. And his name is Mr. Olorushola Emmanuel. Sir, you're welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. I know you're a very busy person, but we're actually happy to have you on our show today. You're welcome, sir.
It's a privilege. Thank you.
On this show, we actually talk about our career, how to thrive in our businesses, and also, like we all know, our career is what we do. It's actually our job, our occupation, and what people actually identify us as. So, can you just tell us in your own words what a career is?
Okay, basically, I think career is anything you find yourself doing that gives you opportunity to grow, and then gives you the opportunity to also become a better person in whatsoever you do, and then has a financial reward of course, because to me, anything that is not, no matter how much you love it, you call it your career, if it's not also bringing financial reward, I think it's not really a career per se, because a career is something that gives you that opportunity to also grow, both financially, and then you as an individual, you grow as a person.
Okay, so now, did you tell us that if you actually have a career and then you're happy with your career but you're not earning financially, are you going to say that's a career?
To me, it's not a career. Career is something that helps you, that gives you the opportunity to become a better self. And then there's no better self without financial reward, trust me. We try to say, okay, a lot of persons will say follow your passion,
Follow your dreams.
so all those things really do not, because a career is something that gives you, you can move from, maybe you start, take for instance, if you want to have a career in music, you can start, maybe you start from the church as a choir member, from there you grow, and then that's, of course, as you are growing, you are going to be having, maybe you record your own label or your own album, you have sales, and in the end you still have financial returns. So that's you growing both as an individual and then in the career that you've chosen, you still have. So to me, if you are not having any financial return, it's not really something you call a career, because it's something that you do over a period of time. Before you even say you have a career in a particular field, it has taken you like a decade. So if you are spending 10 years of your life building one career that is not making anything in return, then I think it's not a career. So career also has to have something financially rewarding, has to bring something back to you.
Okay, so a career has to be financially rewarding.
In
so
my own words, actually.
Okay, so even though I'm happy with my career, okay, maybe for example, I want my career in music, and at the very beginning of music, I'm actually not getting the money I want to. So it's not a career now because I'm not making
The
money.
fact that you're not making it now does not mean you will not make it.
Oh.
But the thing is, it's money is still a very vital part of it in the long run. Do you understand? Yeah. So there's that element of, okay, you know that if you grow it, of course, there's a period for growth when you're learning. There's that period for you to know that, okay, if I invest the next, okay, if I say I want to become a drone engineer,
Yes.
like I train people to do e-commerce business as well. So if I was advising some of my new students that, okay, drones are not something that is common in Nigeria at the moment. So you can actually start a niche-based e-commerce business. Now, e-commerce generally is you buying and selling stuff, but if you now create a career from it now, like I have a friend that is a specialist in selling bulbs, security cameras, installing CCTVs. Now, that's his own career. But what he did is, before he started installing those stuff, he went for a training. So immediately he started that training, of course, maybe he's building a career already, but it has not started bringing in the money. But of course, he knows that in the next couple of maybe 2 years, 3 years, of course, you are now going to start making money, and then you are building that career. Now, today, if you want to, as far as Abuja city is concerned, if you want to install cars, it's one of the first names you call.
Okay.
If you say you want to install some trackers in your cars and all that. So that is him building a career.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So that's my own understanding of career.
Great. You've actually briefed us about what you're doing, about the e-commerce, importation and exportation. So can you say now that you're 100% satisfied with what you're doing? You're happy with what you're doing?
Absolutely. I'm very, very happy because it gives me opportunity to grow and expand and okay, I'm going to say it here for the first time. The company is actually opening a new outlet in Canada because my company has our office in China, Nigeria and Ghana, and then this week we are opening our outlet in Canada. So for something that's giving me opportunity to grow not only as an individual but maybe financially and then network, you meet people from different countries, especially maybe, okay, it's fun for me because I've never been to China and I have a company fully operational in China, right? I've never been to Canada and I'm opening a company in Canada. Do you understand? So for me, it's anything that gives me that fulfillment, and especially the fact that the part of the business of the company focuses on empowerment, like what you're doing right now, where we train people. And so it's giving me joy when I see someone say, hey Manuel, you taught me something in 2017, 2016, and today this is what I'm doing with it. To me, that's fulfillment. So
you've actually impacted a lot of lives still.
A lot. In the last 3-4 years, I've trained over 10,000 individuals so across different countries. So to me, I'm fulfilled, I'm happy with what I'm doing.
Okay. I know that you're always very busy because you have a lot of things to do.
A lot. If I show you my WhatsApp, you scream.
Okay. So with the whole thing you're doing, with how busy it is, now how are you able to balance between your personal life and also with your business? How are you able to shuffle between the two of them?
Okay, I think the most important thing is you knowing what you're doing and then putting a structure in place. That's the ultimate thing. If you're a one-man business, it might be difficult for you to actually balance things but when you are growing to having maybe a team of staff that works with you and then everybody knows what they're supposed to do. So your own role will now be supervising and ensuring everybody is doing what they are doing. So in my own case, I'm able to balance both work and personal life because it's what I do gives me. It's not something you have to sit down for the whole 24 hours to do, right? If you want to do e-commerce, for example, no matter what you're doing, even if you're working in a bank, you can still do it on the side. So it doesn't really take all of the time.
But
only that it takes
a lot of time.
No.
Like from what I've seen,
it doesn't take a lot of. It's about structure, like I mentioned in the beginning. So even if you're a one-man business, okay, let me give you a little bit about me.
Okay. Yes. I want you to be practical about it.
Yeah, there was when I was done. Okay, a little history about me. I studied pure and applied chemistry. So and then the chemistry is supposed to take you 4 years for you to graduate, and then it took me 7 years. So I was failing, and then so I was failing, and when I eventually graduated, what they did for me was let my people go. What they did for me was let my people go because my CGPA was 1 point something. I can't remember the exact figure till now, but I know it's less than 2, right? So this is a career that people want to have maybe 4 points or 2 point something. My own is 1.6 something, right? So it's a pass I graduated with. So my chances of even having a job or a career is slim, especially in a course, chemistry, that maybe if you graduate with the best result, the best you have, maybe if you have 10 first-class graduates in chemistry department, maybe 1 out of the 10 will actually have a good job.
You hardly even find.
So the rest, maybe the best you can become maybe assistant lecturer if you are so lucky. If not, you become a secondary school teacher and all that. So me, that is not graduated with a pass, I don't stand a chance at all, right? So I was already planning, okay, what is the next step? What can I do? So I started taking some online courses, taking videos on, watching videos on YouTube, and then I took some courses on Coursera. So when I eventually got that, let my people go, and I was to go for service. It was at the radio station. So that radio station, I was taken as an admin or assistant. From there, I became the PA to the MD, and just I was growing to. I started presenting on radio. So people were like, okay, how did you do it, Emmanuel, chemistry? How did you swap and all that? Now, it's not about how I swapped now. It's about me knowing that I have a lot of things to match up with. Because I know I've failed many times. I mean, my colleagues, before I eventually graduated, some of my colleagues are already working. They are done with service. Me, I was still going back to so I know that there's that distance for me to cover. Do you understand? So the issue of me now trying to balance my personal life and what's it called?
And your career.
And my career now becomes the ultimate thing. So the first thing I did was in the radio station, I was multitasking. I was doing the admin, like I said. I was working with the MD as the PA. I had a radio show. I was in charge of their logistics.
So many things in one.
A lot of things. So those things kind of built me. They helped me to now know that for me to go out there and make any impact, I have to have a lot of skills. So talking about structure, when I was working at that radio station, I was a core member and I was multitasking at the radio station. But at the same time, I was making liquid soap. I was making liquid soap. I was printing recharge cards to sell. So I already know that for me to be able to balance things, I know that I resume the radio station 5 a.m. So when I go to the office to work at the radio station 5 a.m., I close 5 p.m. When I close, that's the time between 6 p.m. and 12 a.m. is the time for me to now work to print recharge cards that I'm going to sell. And I started selling the recharge card because the radio station started giving out airtime. If you do a call-in, maybe they ask a question. There's a particular one I remember, radio show, radio school, every 2 p.m. So they'll ask you some, they'll call it, they'll spell the words for you, they say you should pronounce it. So if you pronounce it rightly, you get 1,000 recharge cards. So we started buying like 10,000 recharge cards every day. So I was asking myself, Emmanuel, why not start selling the card to them? So that was how I started selling. So I'll resume work from 5 a.m. and close 5 p.m. Then when I get home, between 7 p.m. and like 10 p.m., it's time for me to print recharge card I'm going to sell the following morning.
You're actually walking around the clock.
Exactly. So it's about putting the structure in place first. If you know your abilities, if you know what you can do. So it's about just already setting the structure in place. So it helps you to balance things. If you know that between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m., this is the time for me to print recharge card that I will sell tomorrow. And I know that I have to resume work 5 a.m. So it's already there like a timetable.
So that means you're actually able to manage your time even with all the work.
Exactly. Despite doing a lot of things. And despite the fact that I was printing the recharge card, every Saturday I'll go to Ojota in Lagos. I was in Lagos then. I'll go to Ojota to buy plastics, to buy chemicals. I mix liquid soap. And I started selling. And then, so this is me that I'll make liquid soap on Saturdays and Sundays and then pack it. I'll do the packaging, everything. I do everything, even including the labeling. I do everything myself. So when I'm done doing that, I'll put it down and then call someone to go and I already have people I supply. So someone will go and help me deliver while I go to work. So it's about structure. If you understand yourself, if you understand what you are doing, because it's always important. Any career, any business you want to do, it's important to have a mentor first that you can ask them some basic questions. So if they have guided you enough to give you okay, these are the things you need, these are the things you need. So if you put them in place, you can now look at, okay, what's the best time I can handle this thing? What's the best time I can focus on something else? Because if you check any successful person, if you read about the richest man in the world today, Jeff Bezos, is an e-commerce expert. When you were saying e-commerce, what English were you calling it that time? You know it's not me. Those are the real tycoons that you can call. Like he owns Amazon. The man that owns Amazon, his name is Jeff Bezos. Now Jeff Bezos doesn't attend any business meeting once he's past 10 a.m. It's crazy, right? Because to him, he believes that his best and most productive moment is in the morning. So I think, is it 12? Anything past 12 till tomorrow.
So that means it's very important for us to even know ourselves.
So to know yourself
First
and know
place.
your most productive hours, the time you know that this period. So if you understand that part, it's easy for you to now set yourself and say, okay, once it's this time, I don't want to touch my phone. I want to just focus and complete this one and do something else. So I think the most important thing is having a structure and understanding yourself. And then it depends on the kind of business too. Like coming from my own kind of business, e-commerce, I don't have to be working round the clock. I just have to automate, especially because you now have social media to do sales. You can run ads on Facebook, Instagram, and the likes. So I don't have to be involved 2/4/7. My own is just to make sure I set the system in place, and then I can go and sleep and watch things happen. Of course, if you are a starter, you might not have a customer service person that will say, okay, when someone is making an inquiry, this is the person that will answer. When someone wants to, do you understand? But if you are still able to have the structure in place, you can choose the timing and then when you decide to go fully into work and when you want to relax or have a nice time with your friends.
But now talking about mentorship, like at that particular point, did you have anybody that mentored you to what you were doing? Looking at all the things you mentioned, like you actually did so many things. You went into soap making, you went into recharge card and all of
I
it.
did
Did you
a lot
have
of things.
anybody that as in taught you all the things that you did?
Okay, I have to clarify something. Mentorship is different from having a mentor is different from having a role model. I think most time we mix them together. If someone is your mentor, the person knows you, he knows he's mentoring you, so you are accountable to the person. The person asks you, okay, how far? The last discussion we had, you said you should do this, you do. How far have you gone? Do you understand? The person is actually, you are answerable to the person. But if the person is a role model, maybe the person is successful in what you're doing, and you just like to be like the person doesn't necessarily have to know you. Do you understand?
Okay, so you just look from afar and
exactly start to study them.
try to imitate
Maybe
what the
read
person
their
is doing.
books, follow them, but they don't
You don't know you personally.
So then I didn't have a mentor, but I have people that they are doing well in what I want to do. Like even when I was making liquid soap, I have a lady that is already very successful in making soap then. So I do go to her. Me, I study chemistry, I still have some little ideas, but I'll still go to her because she's already practical is different from just talking and all those things. So I still go to her, learn more, and even the business, the marketing part of it. So I was learning from her. So I cannot call her directly a mentor. I can just call her like a model, a role model. So for you to have any mentor in your career, you have to make sure the person knows that he's mentoring you. And a lot of youths these days, we don't want to pay for mentorship. They'll be like, you can just mentor me, or people just say, "Sir, mentor me, be my mentor, be my mentor." Forgetting that mentorship is actually a lot of work on the part of the person that is mentoring you. It's a lot of work because they are going to leave their time, their own business, their own career to ask and follow up with you and monitor you. So it's either there are two ways you can go about it. It's either you are paying them to mentor you or you serve them. So if you choose to serve them, you can volunteer. Like my mentor at the moment, Mr. Stephen Akitayo, is a billionaire. This is a man that has real estate. He just opened one in Abuja yesterday. And then whenever he's in town, whenever he's in Abuja, I make sure it's my responsibility to go pick him at the airport, to be available, work as his PA. I basically clear my own calendar to make sure. And then just by sitting with him, driving him around or in his hotel room, just listening to him talk, just listening to him talk about business, maybe talking about some deals, you are learning. You see how the rich manage their time, you see how they sleep. Like this morning, I was at this hotel to pick him for the airport, and then I was telling him, I got there 6 a.m. and I was sending messages, he was not replying. Around 6 a.m. I have to send a message that, "Sir, do you remember you have a flight for 8 o'clock? He now replied, "See you, I was up since 4:30 a.m. So you think a billionaire that has already had, I mean, this man is rich already, God has blessed him. So you think at this stage he's supposed to just live the life. He stays at transport, good bed, good everything. You can just sleep off till 8 o'clock. But this is someone that still wakes up 4:30 a.m. So if a billionaire can be waking up 4:30 a.m., I know that I don't have excuse to be sleeping till 8 a.m. Right? So these are some things you learn from a mentor. You see how they do things. So it's always very important for you. It's not even if you cannot afford to, because some people their price is quite high. If a mentor charges you $1,000 for mentorship, doesn't even charge in naira.
So I can just go to meet him and tell him to be my mentor.
Yes, and he'll tell you, okay, in what area, and if you tell him, he'll tell you his charges $1,000, $8,000. That's how he charges. So, but you are going to grow. He cannot mentor you for 6 months and you not make. If he collects $1,000 from you to mentor you, in 6 months you cannot make anything less than $6,000. That's his kind of person. You can. I mean, I'm proud to talk about him anyway because he's someone that is doing excellently well. You can Google him in everything. So it's always important. Any business you want to do, and if you don't have money to be able to pay such persons that is successful in your career, all you have to do in your field, all you have to do is to look for a way you can serve them. How can you volunteer? If you know how to do graphics, for example, sir, can I be designing your graphics for free?
Okay, so you actually do that for a moment and then later you get your reward.
Of course, of course. There is not, because in the real sense, nothing goes for nothing. Nothing goes for nothing. But our generation, we want, especially because we have Google, we have the internet that gives us any information we want. We just assume, what do you want to do? What do you want to tell me that I cannot find online? Forgetting the fact that experience, I always tell people, you can always learn. You can learn by two means, either learning by a mentor or learning by a mistake. If you are learning by a mentor, the person has worked that way before, so it's easy for the person to say, Emmanuel, don't do it this way, go that way.
So what if I decide to learn on my own? Probably I actually do makeup, and okay, what if I decide to just watch YouTube channels to get
you are prone to make mistakes. It's good to self-develop yourself, but it's also very important to have someone that's already doing it. Do you understand? Someone that's already doing it. Because there are some things you cannot know while learning. There are some things we never
like
know.
He has said, it's very important for us to have a mentor so that it will actually put you through to what you're doing. Like me, I still like the idea of self-development, but with what he has said now, I think it's very important for us to have a mentor, someone who will
you as a
tell
makeup
us.
artist, for example, it's good to have a successful makeup artist
Okay,
that already has a studio. Yeah, that you can even just talk to them that, okay, can I come here, come volunteer, maybe you have work, don't pay me, let me just. Because part of what that does for you is first the network, the access it brings to you, because they already built that, they already have that name. Like I've seen people come to me to learn e-commerce, and they'll say, because my mentors classes, even to train you on e-commerce, you pay not less than $1,000.
Because I've tried doing it, but it feels like it's hard. Yes. So
it's not hard. It's because you don't have a mentor that you can. That is actually in
so I
the
can
game.
actually cling to you as a mentor.
I think so. I think so, maybe for the sake of this. But it's always very important to have someone that is actively involved in that thing you want to do. Especially if you're a beginner. Have someone that is experienced there that you can follow, that can watch their footsteps, and then they know that you are following them. So they will not move so far and leave you behind. Do you understand? So if they know that you are following them, it's easier. So at times they can just, like Mr. Geta can just tell you and say, okay, what's up with your company? How is this pandemic treating you? What's your plan? What's the plan B? Do you understand? It was my last discussion with him about 3 weeks ago that made me to start thinking, okay, Canada, because China now is a bit congested, and this period there's delay in shipping and all that. But Canada, the traffic is not much, so why not start? So that's one of the things that the mentor does for you. And today, just while we were going to the airport, we were talking about it. Okay, from our last discussion, what have you done, Emmanuel? I was saying, this I've done, this I've done, this I've done. It's okay. How about you add this one to remind me to send you this detail? So they already have the connects, they already have the resources. So at times, they won't even give you money. Your mentor will not give you money, but they'll give you access. And okay, you're a Christian, yeah?
Yes,
I listened to Pastor Yedepo one day, and he was talking about you don't need assets, you need access. That so a lot of persons will go to God and be asking, give me this, Meanwhile, if you have access to God directly, just let him give you access to that wealth, because he owns everything. So you can just open the door,
just like your
pick
mentor
anything.
opens the door, actually.
Exactly. That's what having a mentor does for you. But like I said, if you don't have money to pay for mentorship, save them. Save them. But a lot of persons, I've seen someone that comes to me and say, man, I want you to mentor me. I say, okay, no problem. I said, don't worry, don't pay me. And later I said, okay, can you do something for me? And he said, okay, I'm going to pay. So immediately I switched from being your mentor to being your client. So you do the service, I pay you. I'm not responsible for anything that happens to you. You're not responsible for anything. So do you understand the difference now? But if you say you want to be mentored, and then you are ready to sacrifice maybe just maybe 1 hour of your time to serve the person, of course the person will want to look for a way to now, okay, what can you do? Let me see what you've been doing.
How can we help you?
How can we get you better?
So how were you able to get your business up to this point it is now? What did you go through? Did you go through ups and downs? Or was it that easy? How was it?
It's really not easy, because my kind of business is the type that you have a lot of factors that are beyond your control. Like when we started, we were not. I was training people to do e-commerce and mini importation, and then when I train them, I direct them to companies that are helping them procure the goods in China and send to Nigeria. So at the point I woke up one day and I was like, Emmanuel, why do you keep? As of then, I think I just trained about 3,000 people. And then the company called me and said, at December, they called me and said, thank you, Emmanuel, for all the referrals you've done for us this year. Send your account number, and I sent to them, and they sent me 100,000. And immediately I was asking myself, if these people sent me 100,000, I've made them 10 million. So how can you think about how you can start this company yourself, so that instead of this money going to the company, your company will become the one that will. So I started making research and all that. So the way it looks on paper, like I was saying, it looks easy. Just get an agent, and then sometimes I went to Dubai for vacation and I met a Chinese that was a friend, and we started talking. And I said, okay, I want to do this thing. I want to have a company in China where the person will be there. When we buy goods, the person will arrange them and send it to Nigeria. So I said, okay, no problem, we can do it for you and all that. But when we started, that was when we now started facing challenges, incomplete goods. Someone paid for 5 items, only 3 came. So the problems now begin to surface.
So still, there are still challenges to
of course.
the importation and...
Of course, there's no business in this life you will do that will not have that challenges. But we are able to manage them because with time, we're growing, we're learning by doing it, we're discovering that, oh, this one doesn't work, why not do it this way? So my mentor only taught me how to do e-commerce, but he doesn't have a procurement and logistics company. So he cannot work in that place. He can just give you general business idea, but that particular field or industry is not an expert. Do you understand why I said it's always important for you to have someone that is successful in that particular field you are? So what we now eventually did was we now have to look for someone, one of the company we were using before, we have to talk to them, learn from them and say, okay, we are now doing this thing. And then we have lost, I think in the first month we lost about 2 million. There's small business I just started. So we have to start like asking questions, please can you guide us? Now they were seeing us as competitors, but the way and manner we're able to approach them, it's convinced them to just share some few tips of what we can do. And then we've been able to start improving and improving. But one of the strengths of my company that I think has helped us to grow has been the fact that we put customers first. Customer service. To me, I always tell my team that the greatest competitive advantage you have should be our service. You can, because like incomplete goods in our own industry is not something that is limited to only our company. It's something that happens everywhere. So, but how do you manage people when there's a problem? So to me, I focus more on people development, like the relationship we keep with the clients. That's one of the most important things for me that helps the business to grow. And then consistency. You see, a lot of persons are scared of failing. There's one lady that, she's my mentee, and she said she wants to go into affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is another kind of business I do. And then I gave her some videos to watch and all that. And then she sent me a message yesterday and said, "Boss, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore." It's as if she said she's never been this helpless in her life. That as if she doesn't know what she's doing. That the last time she felt that way was when she was learning for the AMAs in secondary school, according to her. So what she was doing was she wanted the results.
Like she wanted the result.
She wanted the result immediately, and then she was scared. What if it doesn't even work? Do you understand? So you must give room for you to know that you definitely fail.
So it's fine for you to fail and fail and fail and keep trying again.
It's okay for you to fail in a business. It's okay for you to fail in a business when you start, because you cannot get it all figured out. And then another mistake we make in business is we think you want to get everything ready, you want the resources ready before you start. I keep saying something, you can never be ready enough to start. You have to start to be ready. Because if you think you want to have everything before you start, one thing or the other, one challenge or the other, you cannot get everything all set.
So it's like a gradual process.
So just start. If you know you are convinced, have a little structure in place, just start. The more you are doing it, the more you are building, you are learning on the job, and then you are progressing on the job. But just you sitting down and thinking everything must be ready before you start, it won't happen.
We've actually heard so much from Mr. Emmanuel. In fact, he's really business inclined. But because of our time, we'll just have to wrap it up. And in our next episode, we're going to be giving another sizzling, spicy, saucy discussion with him. And I hope you guys will still come back to enjoy the show. Mr. Emmanuel, can you just wrap it up for us?
All right, thank you very much. I think the take home for everybody is just to know that things takes time. You should, if you're a business person, give it time to grow. You are going to fail. Don't be scared of failure at all. I've failed in every aspect of life. I mean, I told you I spent 7 years in the university. Today, I can't even have postgraduate. I can't even go for masters whatsoever. But today, at least I have 5 staff that has master's degree now working for me. And so always embrace failure, learn from them, and then don't be too hard on yourself. When you fail, it's okay for you to pause, watch your steps, look at the areas where you've made a mistake, and then relaunch again. But there's nothing you can do that you will not fail. Let me just say this as I go. In 2017, I launched the first online store in Africa to accept Bitcoin as the only means of payment. I mean, it's the first of its kind in Africa, where everywhere in the news and all that. The first 3 months, the company crashed. And this was what I spent. Then I was still having a full-time job. I was using my salary. And then I used everything I've saved over the years into the business. And then everything died like that. But today we've still been able to rebuild and have what we call DGB Nigeria Limited. As a multinational company today that is doing millions. So whatsoever you're doing, if you failed before, just look at your steps, fix it, and then try again. And I wish you good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation to my career. And I know that a lot of people are actually waiting for you to come back for our second edition. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I've actually learned a lot today. He just said something that actually struck me. He said that it is fine and it is okay for you to fail. All you have to do is keep trying, and keep trying. Never be discouraged. Keep your head high and keep thriving in what you do. And I want to say thank you, guys. Thank you so much. It's actually a wrap. Next year, we're going to be giving you all interesting episodes on